Afternoon. My name is Jason. Could you please tell me your full name?
My name is Mohammed Shujat.
And what shall I call you?
You are welcome to call me Mohammed.
All right, Mohammed, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
All right, at this point, they will check your ID card,
Sure.
and now the test begins. Now,
Sure.
in this first part of the test, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's start with what you're currently doing. Are you working now or studying?
I'm working and I've been in this position for quite some time. It's about 10 years that I'm working as a teacher.
Do you enjoy teaching?
Yes, I love it. I don't know why I love it.
Challenging part of your work.
The most challenging part is lesson preparation. I don't like that. In fact, I found a solution recently to it. Now I've started compiling all my lesson planning, so that way I cut my work.
And do you think you will continue with this kind of work in the future?
Well, I hope so because I'm happy and I'm making quite a lot of money, and I'm happy in terms of my life generally as well. So I think I'm going to continue as a teacher for quite some time.
How did you initially get interested in teaching?
Well, I just bumped into this profession. I didn't plan to be a teacher, but I was jobless after my graduation. I saw an ad in the local newspaper. I went over to the office. It was a walk-in interview and I was accepted. So since then, I've been teaching.
All right, let's talk a little bit about where you're currently living. Are you living in a city or in the countryside?
I'm living in a city. It's a very big city. It's a very famous one, in fact, in Saudi Arabia. It's an old city next to the beach here. So I'm living in a city.
Are you living in a house or an apartment?
I'm living in an apartment. There are many other apartments as well in the same building. There are about 3 rooms. There are 3 rooms and also a living room and my 4 kids.
What's your favorite room in your apartment?
The favorite room in my apartment is my study, where I can focus on my work and where I can relax a bit and watch a movie stealthily when my kids are not around. So that's the place I love most in my home.
Is there anything about your apartment that you'd like to change or improve?
Well, yeah. In fact, I'm moving house, and the reason is that I'm not happy with the size of my study. It's pretty small, and I'd like to move into a bigger house where there is a larger study where I have more space to stuff my equipment and feel more relaxed.
And how well do you know your neighbors?
Well, not much because I don't have any active social contact with them because I'm a professional. I keep busy. I'm always busy, and they keep to themselves. They're businessmen, and so not much for us to talk about. So I don't interact much with them. So not on an active social level with them.
All right, let's talk a little bit about sports. In general, do you enjoy sports?
I used to. I was a great cricketer. In fact, I used to play cricket regularly, but don't do that anymore because of job commitments. Now, the biggest thing, in fact, in my life that I miss is sport. I don't get the time to play it. So spare time is an issue that's in the way of me playing sport.
Do you enjoy watching sports on television?
Yes, I do. Ever since I was a child, I've been watching sport. And as soon as I get the time, I turn on my TV and start watching my favorite sport. It's cricket. In fact, it helped me as a child to improve my English. So I'm using it as a resource to work on my English because of the commentary and because of the discussions on it.
Do you think you prefer to watch sport than to play it?
Well, now I prefer to watch it more than play it because I don't have the time. But as a child, I loved playing it more than watching it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's the end of part one. Now I'm going to send you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes.
Sure.
Before you begin speaking, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say and you can make notes if you wish. Do you
Yes.
understand?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Here you go. Can you see that?
Yes, I do.
All right. Here's a pen and paper for your notes. And here is your topic. Today, I would like you to tell me about a hobby or interest which you particularly enjoy. All right. Now, remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes for this. So don't worry if I stop you. I'll tell you when the time is up. Could you start speaking now, please?
Yeah, sure. The topic I'd like to talk about is a hobby or interest which I particularly enjoy. I'd like to talk about my recent hobby, and it is walking. I love going walking, and I've been doing it for quite some time. I get up early in the morning, and as soon as I'm out, I in fact start walking. And I do it in a park. I go to a local park where I walk for about 45 minutes. And as I said earlier, I've been doing it recently. It's because of my health issues. I've been encountering in some health issues. I have been gaining some weight, and my doctor has been suggesting that I should go walking every day regularly. And I usually do it alone. But sometimes I convince my wife to join me, and she also agrees sometimes. But she most of the time gives herself excuse, saying that there are lots of chores that she needs to take care of. So I excuse her, but by and large, I go out walking regularly. And the reason why it's so important to me is because of my health concerns. As I said, my doctor has been encouraging me to go walking, and I've been trying to act on the doctor's orders, and I've been walking regularly. However, I do feel that I need to do more of it because sometimes I'm not regular. Sometimes I go walking for less than the recommended duration. Like sometimes I walk for about 30 minutes, so then I feel guilty. And then the next time I try and make it up by walking more. I think I'm going to continue walking for quite some time because I understand the importance of walking. And I think if I stop it, I'm going to gain more weight. Already I'm overweight. In fact, it's one of the concerns that keeps me awake sometimes at night. So
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
There in part one or part two, you were telling me about your love of your interest in walking. And now in part three, we're going to talk a little bit more about hobbies and interests and free time. Okay.
Sure.
Let's start by talking about the benefits of having a hobby or interest. Do you think that having a hobby can be good for a person's social life?
Yeah, in fact, it could be very instrumental in activating a person's social life. It's really particularly important these days because people are busy. They don't have the time to interact with their neighbors. So it could be an opportunity for people to open up to their neighbors and to discuss many things with them. So I think it's very important, more than ever before. It's important for people to have hobbies. It allows them to socialize and get to know and be street smart. So I think it's important for people to have hobbies. It's very healthy.
Are there any negative effects of a person spending too much time on a hobby or interest?
Well, of course, there could be very negative effects on a person's family life. For example, the person's partner or a spouse or wife might complain that the person is spending too much time away from them. So that could have disastrous effects on a person's family life, and there could be ruptures in the relationships. So I don't think everything is positive about this.
Why do you think people need to have a hobby or an interest?
Well, people do need to have a hobby because if they keep spending their time on their businesses or on their other pursuits, they might become too cynical about different things. So in order to stabilize that negativity, in order to overcome that negativity, they need to open up to people, to get to know what other people are going through, the way other people are living their lives. So it's important for a person to have a hobby. It's a great stabilizing factor in a person's life.
Oh, let's talk a little bit about free time now. Where you're living nowadays, how much time do people spend on work and how much time do they spend on leisure? And do you think it's a good balance there?
Well, unfortunately, people don't keep this balance. They are more into their businesses and more into their work. So as a result, their social life suffers. There are neighbors who've been living as neighbors for a long time, and they don't get to see each other. They don't get to know each other. So I don't think there is a healthy balance between the two. But I think it could easily be overcome by socializing more and engaging into healthy activities like social lives, like hobbies and exploring common interests between people, so they could go, for example, walking together, go snowboarding, or go fishing, or do other things together, and that could definitely help evolve their social life.
Do you think people nowadays have more or less free time than they did in the past?
People definitely have less free time now than they did before because people are scattered. They're pursuing so many things at the same time. They've got so many irons in the fire at the same time. So as a result, they are too focused on different things, and they don't have the free time. In fact, this is a common feature of our modern day life that people are suffering from. They don't have the free time to interact with each other, to just to sit idle, because the human body needs some free time, some relaxed.
How could we improve this situation in the future?
Well, it could be easily improved by having a balance and by following a timetable. For example, we should have a balance between work and life, and one should have a fixed schedule for work. One shouldn't be answering work emails at night after, say, 12 or 1 o'clock. One should be following a set schedule. Only then I think it could be possible. If we think that we are at work 24/7, it's not going to happen. So we should know our limits. And for example, in the after hours, we shouldn't be answering emails. We shouldn't be answering calls. So I think that might do the trick, and we might be able to work on this.
Thank you very much. And that is the end of your test.
You're welcome.
Well done there, Mr. Muhammad. That was really good. Yeah.
All right. Thank
really
you very
good.
much. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Jason. Thank you.
I'll tell you what, I cannot actually, I've been doing this for a long time. Okay. I cannot recall the last time I had someone go through an entire speaking test without making a single error.
Oh, okay. So I didn't make a single error. Great. Okay.
I honestly, I did not catch a single error. Part 1, nothing. Part 2, nothing. Part 3, nothing.
Wow.
That never happens. Okay. So you're making my task here a very, very simple one, and I appreciate that. Okay. Not only do we get this done early, we get the feedback done quickly as well.
Yeah, that's because you offered me a 15-minute earlier slot, so I thought I should make it easier for you and not make any mistakes.
Well, that was very, very nice of you. Okay, very
Thank
considerate.
You very much.